Hey everybody, welcome back to Conversations Around the Table. We are entering into part 2 of our conversation about how to navigate challenging behavior in relationships, which we had a great conversation about. Obviously, this is something very real in every person's life. You know, no two people are alike. So of course you're going to have challenges in relationship and how you deal and navigate relationships with other people. And so we're kind of talking about just, we were talking about, if you haven't seen the other episode, go back and watch and come here again for part 2. But because it's an important conversation we had, but really like, what do you do when there's been a break in a relationship without closure or clarity or conversation? And we, our culture right now we describe it as a delete culture. Like it's very easy for people to delete you from Instagram or delete you from their lives or delete you from a text thread or just remove themselves in an unhealthy way, because I think the heart of God is that we do have the conversation. We can bless and love each other and release each other if there's no resolve there. But we want to treat people well. We want to end relationships and bless the new season of a person's life well. But I think what we were sharing is it's probably one of the most painful things is to not have closure and to not have a clarifying conversation about help me understand, what exactly happened here? What's going on?
Yes.
What do I need to know so that I can grow? What can we share together to kind of resolve what we need to resolve and then kind of move on, if that's what we're doing in the relationship. So, Robin, you were we were also sharing a little bit about like how we process that when we don't have those answers. When we aren't getting the closure, when we aren't getting the conversation, what can we do in the meantime? So you were going to share something about that I think was really important.
I just think like when we go in, we talked about self-examining and we talked about allowing God to heal our hearts in the middle of it and like, search me, oh God, know my heart, what have I done, and that kind of thing before the Lord. I also think when you operate from that space of, because that's healthy. That's really healthy, because it's between you and God, and He is so faithful to show us. We talked about that. When we move into that space, it opens us up for the next layer of life, which is another friend. Right? Because if we don't do that, then we close our hearts off and we don't allow other people to come in.
Right.
And every relationship is a risk.
Right. Yes.
Every friendship is a risk. It just is. Every business relationship is a risk. It's all a risk.
Right.
And if we don't go in and risk again, then we're missing the joy that's set before us, which is laughter and fun and connection and intimacy. And yes, there's layers to friendship and all of that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about risking again. Right. And when you go in and you've dealt with the things that maybe didn't work in the last season or, unhealthy patterns in your own personal life or whatever that is. And maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe it has everything to do with their inside job. I don't know.
Right.
But as long as we keep our hearts soft, then we can actually move into another phase of like really deep friendship. And it's actually it's sometimes better. Just because it goes deeper and wider because your heart's expanded. So
that's or if you've taken the opportunity to evaluate what happened in that previous relationship, the new friendships can be healthier, more
100%.
Right? I love this idea of search me, O God, and know my heart. And that's the scripture in the Bible. And wow, has the Lord really been working on that and showing me the value of that in the last few years of this beautiful place where we can go to the Lord and say, I literally want you to show me where am I off?
Right.
What am I doing that's hurtful? Or what am I doing that's selfish? Or what am I doing? Like, is there anything in me that has caused this? Please show me. And guess what? He's faithful to show you.
Yeah.
Always.
He shows you. I know.
He does.
He does. And honestly, I think there's a fear of doing that because nobody likes to have their yucky stuff seen. You know, like we'd all like to go, no, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm
Right.
I'm
chilling.
great. You know, I'm chilling.
Chilling.
But that's how we stay unhealthy. And that's how we just go, well, I don't know what their problem is. I didn't do anything wrong. Maybe that's true. Or maybe there are things that I'm not seeing in myself and in my relationships. And so that piece is critical to just come to the Lord, especially, and we're kind of forced to do it. We talked about this last episode. We're forced to do it when we can't even have the conversation with the person. Like, okay, they're not telling me what I did wrong. They're not telling me why they deleted me. So I need you to show me, is there something in me that I need to address and I need to fix?
Right.
And let him do it. And guess what? When he does, and then it's done, it's done. Like, yeah, there might be a journey of growth and practicing better behavior, but honestly, it's not as painful as we fear it's going to be.
Right.
And then you can move into new relationships, freer, more healthy, ready to be your best self. You know, it's like it's leveling up in relationship. Instead of letting this thing tear you down, it's like, how do we level up from that painful situation?
I think too, like, we also talked about the flip side of, you know, it might not have anything to do with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a lot of times people, because they didn't deal with their old stuff, then they have like almost like a trauma response where it's like fight or flight.
Yes.
Like, I'm out.
Totally.
I'm out,
Totally.
not doing it, peace.
Yeah.
And then you
Fight or
build
flight.
this is the thing that we have to be so careful of, is we got a funky little fly around here. My goodness. Don't touch my pretty flowers, buddy. You gotta, like, you have to remember that when you're dealing with fight or flight, there's a thing where you can also build your case.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can build your case and create your own narrative, and then that's a sure sign. Oh, you're gonna have, the Lord is just saying, put your hiking boots on because we're gonna have to go around this mountain again.
Right.
You know, and I don't ever want to be that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go around the mountain. The mountain is painful.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible says that the foothills are no place for me anymore. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go hiking again. I like to lay on the beach. You know, I don't like hiking.
Learn the lesson the first
Yes,
time.
exactly.
I don't want to do that assignment again.
Yeah.
I want to learn the lesson the
But
first
the
time.
whole point is that sometimes the reaction from the person, because there's a difference between a response and a reaction.
Right.
Yes.
The reaction from the person is often sometimes fight or flight,
Yes.
which is their trauma response of, I'm out, I'm not dealing with this, I don't want to do this, and then creating a narrative, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's where we have to go. When that happens, we have to go, okay, again, search me, O God, and know my heart so that I can go in again.
Yeah.
To something new.
And I think in that too, you know, I know in, you know, a situation that I'm dealing with, it's like when you've had the, you know, years in history, like 20 years in history with somebody, and you've, you know, done the things, raised the kids together, you know, done life together, holidays, like these people are family. And then there's a break, and there's no explanation, there's no conversation, there's just silence, and there's no reaching that person. I think for me, it's like that being probably one of the most painful things to be sitting in and experiencing. But then at the same time, having to recognize, like, okay, I can get stuck in a belief about what's happening. I can create my own narrative about this, and it can be a really bad one, about the person or about me or about us. So, you know, really like surrendering the relationship to the Lord.
That's so good.
And then also asking him, you know, like we've talked about, is there anything in me that I need to deal with?
Yes.
But then also, like, show me, what is it that you want me to believe and to think and to pray kind of into the situation. Because I believe, like, I'm always a big believer, and God is so about restitution and restoration, especially in relationships where it can happen. That's his heart. And I think we all would be like champions of that as well. Like that would be all of our hearts. But sometimes that's not what we get.
Right.
So I can only think and want to know, what are your thoughts? What do you want me to know about this situation? And how can I partner well in like leveling up in my beliefs or my even like experience of what I'm going to choose to walk out in this, and how I'm going to walk this out, and how I'm going to risk again and loving other people that you've brought into my life in the midst of something incredibly hard and painful, because it wants to shut you down and
take you out
and be like,
it's designed to take you out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is, because it's deep and it's real, and
go live on an island.
Yes.
It's designed to take you out.
Yeah. And you could get into a space, I think, and I think some people do, where it's like, I'm not ever going to risk my heart again like that. And I'm going to just be on assignment with people. And so I will give them so much space with me, but they're not going to know me.
Yeah.
And they will always be over here in my world of friendship. So I think that my heart is like, I don't want to get there where I'm not risking the places of intimacy of people knowing me well and being known by others, because I think that is the heart of God. But also just to recognize sometimes it's not always about me. As painful again as that can be, like the lack of like what is going on, and no clarity over it, but realizing there's issues and trauma in other people, and there's a response that they're having, and I don't even I can't fix that for them. I have to just surrender the relationship and go, okay, I'm not going to have clarity here.
Right.
So what can I do?
Right.
And I can bless, I can release, I can forgive. I can choose to, like we've talked about, examine what are areas in my life that I need to grow, or what are areas that I need to level up in friendship, and like, how can I be a better friend, or how can I, not be something in a relationship that's unhealthy or allow unhealthiness. And so, and for me, a big thing that I've learned through all of this that is really for me recognizing that there was a fear of being honest with people that I loved because of rejection, or them doing the very thing that would happen, right? Like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, or we're not going to be in a relationship anymore. And so recognizing like that actually was a hindrance. That actually hindered our relationship and our relational connection. And so that's an area that I had to work on, or I have to work on continually in relationships. Because if you're, wanting to make sure everybody's good and happy and okay, and, you don't want to hurt anybody, then there's areas where you can, get into the slippery slope of it.
Right.
So, it's just these are like, it feels like so like a serious conversation we're having, but it's so important. And we know that everybody deals with these things, and it is hard. It's hard to walk it out. It's hard to navigate it. It's hard to like move forward, but there are ways to do it, which is what we've been discussing. And I
want to add one more thing, and that is, I think people are afraid to have the conversation because we believe in our mind that it has to be the same as it was before. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like, it's okay. Like, that's what freedom brings is it doesn't have to, because we talk about a hard thing and we get to the other side of it, doesn't mean we have to have access to each other anymore.
Right.
In the same way that we used to have, and that actually just gives freedom as well. Like, that, I believe, is real blessing of one another. It says, gosh, I love you, and thank you so much for the beautiful time. And I want to understand you. I want to understand your heart. I want to understand I want you to understand my heart and like forgive one another for the areas that we've hurt each other. But it doesn't mean we have to go back into the same space.
And
Yes.
level of friendship.
In the same level of friendship. Like that, I think it's a powerful release.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this in the forgiveness episode, where it's like forgiveness. I'm loving what you're saying, but it's making me think of what we shared there about like forgiveness doesn't equate to access, or forgiveness doesn't equate to relationship,
right?
But it is an important piece in healing and in moving forward, to be able to do that,
right?
Yeah.
But I also think too, you used the word surrender a moment ago, and I'm just reminded of something I heard last week that basically said, the Lord is asking us, inviting us to surrender the issue, right? To give it to Him. Because once we give it and put it out of our hands and give it to Him, He actually can bring healing to it.
Yes.
Right? And healing doesn't always look like the way we think it should.
Right.
But it's like an invitation to Him to say, Lord, I need you to take this off of me because I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
I literally don't know how to handle it. But you know what to do.
Yeah.
You have access to everybody that I don't.
Exactly. Right?
He has
speak.
access. He can speak.
Yep.
He can show. He can reveal. He can do all of those things. And we might not, on this side of eternity, ever get resolved to certain things. But as long as we surrender them to Him, it keeps us clean.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it brings freedom to us.
Yeah.
Which is what we want.
And I love that piece, and I think that's something that is so beautiful, is to remember that He has access to them, even if we don't.
Right.
And so we can, when we have the grace, or we're able to pray for them, pray into the situation, and in that place of surrender and surrendering it. And that's a place of healing, I think, for our hearts, a place of release, and a place for us to hear Him speak and go, okay, I want to partner with that. Not what this negative narrative over here wants me to believe, but I'm going to partner with what you're saying, showing me, and what you're speaking about this person to me, so that I can really truly walk in freedom, and they can walk in freedom. Whether we ever have the conversation or not, that we can really do that well.
Because we need the Lord more than we need an answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need Him.
Yeah.
Because He's the great revelator, right? He's the one that actually knows
Yes.
the heart of man.
Absolutely.
We don't.
Yeah. Exactly. We do not. And I'm so thankful we're having this conversation, as sometimes it feels like
I feel like
heavy
an exhale,
and
like it just feels very exhale.
because it's so personal, right?
It's so personal.
And it's so like who we are as women is we are connectors, we're relational, we care about relationships and connections. So it affects our heart and our emotions. So it is heavy in that sense, but we wanted to have the conversation with all of you, because we know that we're not the only, if we're dealing with this, everyone's dealing. Everyone deals with this, because we're people, human beings, and we're all fallible. We all make mistakes, and we disappoint one another, and there are relational things that happen in our lives, but we want to bring freedom and hope and encouragement in those spaces. Of how to navigate the space of relational challenges and people having behavior in relationships that are challenging or hurtful. So hopefully you've felt encouraged. You felt maybe even like, oh gosh, I'm not alone in this, and maybe that has been an encouragement for your heart today. So we would love to hear from you. We hope this message, you can share it with people need to hear it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Just know we're so grateful you're here with us in the conversation. And this is a table of friendship, and we love being able to share our friendship and conversations with you. So like and subscribe, share. We would love that. Love to hear your feedback.
Comment.
Comment. We'd love to hear it. And you can follow us on the website.
If you do comment, we will comment back.
Yes.
We'll answer.
Yes. If you have a question about anything we've shared, we will definitely comment back and get back to you. But you can follow us at aroundthetableiNC.com. You can follow us on Instagram at aroundthetable_Inc. And of course on YouTube. So thanks for being with us. Hope you have an amazing day.